Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am DTT Customs, but you'll come to know me as Daniel. Just like many of you, I find myself with a lot of time on my hands, and I've spent most of it playing one of my favorite games, Rainbow Six Siege. I have a group of friends that I play this with, and I was talking to them earlier about the new designer notes that were released, and none of them actually knew about the changes that were coming down the road. And I get that they aren't exactly new anymore, coming out about 2 weeks ago, but since my friends who are very avid gamers of Rainbow Six didn't hear about them yet, I figured I could use some of the amounts of my massive free time to spread some useful information to you guys. Hey guys, I just want to put a quick update in. The update actually came live while I was editing this video, and I didn't feel like re-recording the entire thing, so even though I'm speaking in future tense, all the stuff I'm talking about has already happened. So I'm going to be addressing these mostly in the order they appear on the designer notes, which I will leave a link to in the description. Ubisoft didn't sort it out very well, so I'm going to organize it just a little differently. So good old Ubisoft makes it pretty clear that the main voice they're listening to is the Pro League teams. They open the whole statement with a little blurb about how these changes are designed to push every player, professionals included, out of their comfort zone. Some of these changes are fairly minor, while some other ones I feel like can carry a lot more weight down the road and have a huge impact on the win deltas for this season. Ubisoft also mentions how they view pros as masters of the game, as well as them showing an incredible understanding of the intricacies of Siege and are able to see many things from a perspective that we may miss. To an extent, I agree with Ubi here. You know, the pros are definitely a vital component to the game's lifespan. They discover all the little tricks that end up trickling down to general population, like myself and my friends, and you guys, that eventually get outdated very quickly for the pros. But I feel like at least one of these changes in particular is pandering to that minority way too much, and if they continue to make changes like this, I feel like it could have some negative consequences down the road. But anyway, we'll get to that when we get there. For now, I'll just start talking about what's actually changing. Let's start with Ying. She's a 2-speed, 2-armor attacker who was introduced back in Operation Blood Orchid with her SDU counterpart Lesion. Ying is an aggressive attacker with primary options of her unique T95 LSW LMG or a 612 shotgun, as well as SDU standard Q929 pistol. She also has a choice of breach charges or a claymore for her secondary gadget. Ying's main utility is her 3 candelas, which are basically flashbangs on steroids. Candelas can be rolled along the ground or placed on barricades and other soft breaches to deploy through these surfaces and catch defenders off guard. Now, if you've been playing the game for any decent amount of time, you of course already know all this, but it's important to mention because one of the changes coming to Ying is she's going to be getting an extra candela, bringing her total up to 4. As if that wasn't enough blinding power, her claymore is also going to be swapped out for smoke grenades, which, if you were around back when she was released, you know why this is a bit of an issue. Ubisoft actually removed her original smoke grenades because it was too powerful, but now it seems that we've come full circle and she has them back. And just as a cherry on top of all that, her T95 is going to get an extra 3 damage to make it go from 43 to 46. This update, Ying is about to definitely become a godly new operator. Some might even say she could rival Tachanka. Who am I kidding? No, she can't. So next up is Cav, with a very minor change. Her M12 primary SMG is just going to be getting a holographic sight, which is only cosmetically different from the current reflex and red dot it has. It's not an ACOG, it's still at the same zoom level. Ubisoft is just calling it a quality of life change. Now this one's a double whammy. Goyo is another 2-speed, 2-armor defender who has a choice between a Vector 45 ACP or the TCSG-12 shotgun for his primaries and a P22-9 handgun as a secondary. He also gets a choice of impacts or a Nokia brick. One of these guns in particular, the TCSG-12, is about to receive one of the biggest damage nerfs I have seen in a long time. It's going to go from 84 damage a shot to 57. To compensate for this, it is going to get an extra magazine, but I mean, I don't know if that's going to make up for that. This is also going to kind of affect Cade since he has the TCSG-12 as well, but he also has an AUG, so I'm sure he'll be fine. Anyway, I personally like Goyo. I like his gadget. I like its ability to completely deny entry, and I've always loved the Vector. Unfortunately, this is not a sentiment shared by the pros of Siege. They actually find Goyo really annoying to deal with, so Ubisoft has decided to nerf this guy into the ground. And I'm not just saying that either. They actually mention how the change is directed toward the current Pro League meta. Anyway, Goyo has these special deployable shields. They work and look just like normal ones, they latch onto doorways, they do all that. The main difference is his have a giant fire cartridge that goes on the back, which once shot by yourself, teammate, enemy, anybody, the shield breaks and a giant fire area spreads around it that lasts about 12 seconds, hurting anybody that walks through it. He gets 3 of these shields to place around the map, but after this update he's only going to get 2. Goyo already has one of the worst spots on the win delta charts, and this could be the final nail in the coffin for him, and it's a shame to see him go so soon. Jaeger is GSG9's meta defender, one who has been in the game since the very beginning. He was easily the most overpowered character at launch, and arguably still is, boasting a ridiculously high spot on the win delta charts. And due to this, he has seen nerf after nerf after nerf since the beginning of his career. Jaeger's a 2-speed, 2-armor Wait a minute. No, that can't be right. No. That's right! The speedy German is going to lose his 3-speed status in exchange for a little armor. I haven't really used Jaeger in a while, so I'm not super worried. I'm more of a Bandit fan anyway, but Rogue9 did a video showing that the change from 3-speed to 2-speed isn't that drastic. Poor Jaeger's lost his ACOG, had his 416C nerf time and time again, but despite all these changes, Ubisoft still thinks he's too good, so they hope this will lower his pick rate and balance out team compositions. Keep in mind, they did very recently add Wamai, whose whole utility is very similar to Jaeger's, so I'm sure they just didn't want to see him go so underappreciated so soon. Next up is everybody's second favorite redheaded pizza boy.
News, everyone! Off the drone!
I love Mozzie. He is easily one of my favorite defenders. Even though he's a 2-speed, he's an amazing roamer. He's got great guns. He can choose between the Commando 9 or the P10 Roni for his primaries, and a Super Shorty or the SDP 9mm for his secondaries. He also gets barbed wire or a Nokia brick, but I'd choose the Nitro Cell any day. Mozzie the Aussie uses his signature pest launcher to shoot these little spider robot things that hijack drones so he can use them as mobile cameras for the defenders. The addition of his Super Shorty makes him a great roamer because he can take out hatches, he can make roti holes, he can do all these quick changes on the fly that let him get away from or flank attackers. And Ubisoft has taken note of his sheer roaming strength, and due to that, he will be losing his Super Shorty. I personally hate this decision and feel like it makes no sense since good old Castle just got a Super Shorty, and he also has impacts, which makes him even stronger for roaming, but whatever. Not my choice. Last but not least, my fellow national, mon ami de Quebec, Buck. This Quebecois 2-speed, 2-armor attacker from JTF2 comes with a choice of either his C8 SFW or his CAM RS. Those are mouthfuls. And his Mark 1 9mm pistol. His primaries both come with a skeleton key underbarrel that is more of a breaching tool than a gun, according to my friend, but I like to think that it's a multi-purpose tool.
Grenades like you prime, or grenades you shoot out?
Oh, thanks.
For additional hardware, he has a choice of either frags or stuns, at least for now, because with this coming change, Buck is going to be losing his frag grenades in place of a claymore because the devs feel he has incredible potential on many bomb sites and is just too good at soft breaching. He doesn't need the frags. This one, I don't think it's going to shape up too much. Stuns are still very useful. He still has great weapon choices. He's still going to be able to be a top fragger. It's no big deal. However, it's not all bad news for Buck, because not only will he be getting more shots for his buckshot, but the magazine size for his skeleton key is increasing too, from 5 to 6 for a total of 26 shots.
Same distance. Oh, you missed? Okay.
Okay, let's keep going. No.
No.
I don't know what was that.
Okay, fine, stay still. Oh, so do you want to call it there?
No.
Oh! Oh! No! With dodge. Oh shit, everyone else died.